Previously on Nomads Eye, we discovered Moldova through the lens of a toy museum with big dreams. But that story was just the beginning. Once you look beyond the surface, you find connections that span continents and inventions that are reshaping what it means to be a nation in a globalized world. For over 2 decades, North Carolina and Moldova have maintained one of the most unlikely partnerships in international relations. 7,000 miles apart, these two have built ties through education, agriculture, business development, and even something more powerful, a shared belief in human potential. Today, we're exploring how this partnership has helped foster a new generation of Moldovan entrepreneurs, and how, even in the face of unprecedented challenges, innovation finds a way to flourish. This is the story of borders that exist only on maps.
Well, it's a good time, Marshall. To start off, I wanted to ask you if you could share a little bit about the North Carolina and Moldova partnership, if you could tell a little bit of the public about that relationship.
Well, when the Soviet Union broke up and Moldova was a free and independent country, our country realized that they were probably going to need a lot of help. They're now identified as the most economically disadvantaged, poorest country in Eastern Europe. And so they would be ripe for overpowering by Soviet forces or some other forces. So our country didn't want that to happen. They wanted these people to have self-determination. So Moldova was paired with North Carolina by the State Department, Defense Department, for a military-to-military partnership. That played itself out in the North Carolina National Guard having a partnership with the Minister of Defense forces in Moldova. Now, our National Guard people are soldiers, but they also do civil preparedness, they do emergency relief, they do whatever they're asked to help preserve status quo. So the Moldovan forces needed leadership training. They never knew how to organize a group of people to do something. Civil policing, that kind of thing. We did non-lethal military training. Unfortunately, the fields of Moldova were peppered with landmines. And so demining the fields was one of their objectives. So those are the kind of things they did. Well, National Guard people are also have other professions. And they saw so many needs there in Moldova that they were undertaking things with orphanages and medical things and what have you. And the Adjutant General of the North Carolina National Guard was happy because this was a way that he could retain doctors, lawyers, all those people with an interest in the National Guard. But it was beyond their mandate. And so the idea was conceived that we have a civilian-to-civilian partnership. And so that took place in 1999. Governor Hunt and President Luchinsky signed a memorandum of understanding to have a 5-year contract, in essence, for a partnership. And Governor Hunt asked me if I would chair our side of it. I had to go to the map and find out where Moldova was, but when your governor asks you to do something for your state, you generally do it.
You gotta do it.
And so that's how the partnership got started. It was slow in the beginning, but I can fast forward. We've had the partnership renewed every 5 years by both Democratic and Republican governors of this state and Western-leaning and Soviet-leaning presidents of Moldova. So I've told many people there it sort of didn't matter who's in charge, we're going to be here. That's how it got going, and it's been beautiful. It really has been beautiful.
This exchange has fundamentally shifted how young Moldovans see their country's place in the world. No longer just a transit point between larger powers. Moldova is becoming a hub of innovation in its own right.
We've been engaged in medical, pharmaceutical, nursing, education at all levels, from primary school on up to graduate schools. Economic development has been one of the hardest things to do, but small business entrepreneurship is having a resurgence, and I'm thrilled that you all were able to add your contribution to that.
At the heart of this entrepreneurial movement is GEN Moldova, the Global Entrepreneurship Network's local chapter. Under dynamic leadership, they're proving that geography does not determine destiny.
Hi, my name is Olesea Fortuna. I'm the president of Global Entrepreneurship Network, Moldova.
What inspired you to get involved in entrepreneurship and eventually lead GEN Moldova?
And my father inspired me as well. I've learned from some of his mistakes, and when I decided to go on my own, I said to myself that I would like to develop an organization that supports entrepreneurship building and both ways, by working with different stakeholders in the communities. However, I wanted to also give them different tools and support them with tools that they can access and that can help business flourish and thrive, and to learn how to work together. Because one of the legacies of the Soviet Union is that they worked so much to destroy the cultural identity of the nations that were part of the Soviet Union, that people have not learned to collaborate. They were forced to not collaborate, not lead, but basically to kind of whistleblowing and telling each other, and if someone started the business. And I think my father had to confront some of this ethical and cultural values when he started his businesses, and that was really difficult on him. And I think he passed away too early for me, and I felt that things should change so entrepreneurs can feel that they're supported in their communities.
What makes this partnership with Moldova and North Carolina stand out? What do you think makes this bond so special?
It is the people. It's the people-to-people relationships. When we get asked for some help, I try to do my best to fulfill that. We have a lot of people who have goodwill about Moldova. They've met Moldovans, they've had Moldovans in their home, and they have a soft spot in their heart. And so they really bend over backwards to get things done. The reason that a lot of things that government starts don't become successful is because they change leaders every 4 years or every 8 years. So there's been continuity here at the office with myself, Mr. Maddox, and Laura Senegar, who is a Moldovan and is our translator-in-chief, among other things. So having the same leadership for a period of time is very, very valuable.
From tech startups serving international markets to agricultural innovations feeding local communities, Moldovan entrepreneurs are building new narratives for their country and future. What is the current entrepreneurial landscape in Moldova, especially for young people?
So I think Moldova has been framed with being the poorest country in Europe, and also in terms of European landscape, I think right now there are many opportunities for that. There is the miracle of small countries. That miracle means that you can brand a country really fast as something. And we can brand the country with young entrepreneurs and young talent, and all of this vision that I have about our country, how it is supposed to be. Because the new generation that comes now, 17, 18, 19, they come with a different mindset. If people from Moldova were previously thinking, I'm going to live somewhere in Europe because you get better salary, but then they go and live there and find out that everything is much more expensive, and they should come back with their knowledge. So many return with a lot of knowledge and with a lot of expertise, and they start growing their own companies surrounded by the communities that they love, and working with their families.
What are some of the most meaningful outcomes you've witnessed from this partnership, whether it's through education, entrepreneurship, or any type of humanitarian aid?
When I see students, there's a place called America House, which is where a lot of American books are, and if people want to see a video of the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls or things like that, they can come in. It's not really a museum, but it's an open center where they can come in and learn about America. When I meet with the students who are Moldova's brightest students coming along, and they're learning English, and when I come, a student that says, and his mother brings a picture and says, this is him 5 years ago, and now he's taller than I am. And he's speaking very good English.
Yeah.
When the students come up and say, Miss Marshall, we so appreciate these books. We will take very good care of them, and I know that is true. What we have provided to them in supplies is almost like a sacred possession. And especially in that shared environment where a lot of students would use a book. They do. They care for things. They are not wasteful people. They're respectful people. Every time I go to the America House, and they know I'm coming, the students will prepare. They will draw pictures of things like the Wright brothers. They learn about that in the English book, and they are fascinated by flight. So they will draw pictures about the Wright brothers. Or I had last time a very long parchment of things that they wrote gratitude for this, that, and the other. Those will be on my heart forever.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely. It's something that you just see evolve through not only the aid that is being given through the North Carolinian partnership, but through people, individuals, and all of this, it evolves into something breathtaking and awe-inspiring. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
so. You go bigger than yourself. I mean, when we were working with Igor in the museum, just getting to work with the kids and really like see the emotion in the kids of them being involved and engaging with the museum, having fun with each other, and seeing the vision of the museum. I mean, for me, that was just like really hard feeling of like being able to see the impact that these things can have in the different communities. So.
There are a lot of orphans there because the parents have gone off to, I don't know, Turkey, France, somewhere, Spain, to earn money and then send back remittances. And so the kids don't have much access to their parents. They're raised by grandparents. There used to be a huge orphanage structure, but the state of Republic of Moldova decided that that was not the best way to be raising kids. Some kids there, I know that their futures are enhanced by having exposure to American English. I mean, that people that can master English, that is a real ticket to financial success in the rest of their life.
I think before our trip, you guys sent like a container, right? Over with
Two containers.
Two containers.
Two containers, yeah.
Full
That
of
arrived about 2
supplies.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
full of supplies. And when I say full, I mean full. We have a gentleman that operates a forklift. We have 2 hours to load up. That's when they pick up things for transatlantic shipping. You got 2 hours to load, or else it goes into overtime and it costs you a whole lot more. So he lays out the plot on the floor at a warehouse. These are pallets, and stacks them up and then unstacks them and restacks them again. And then when the time comes and that truck gets backed up to the loading gate, he starts putting them in there. If it doesn't quite look right, he pulls it out, he moves it around. And when we get to the end, we put things on top if there's any airspace whatsoever. We stick crutches in there, we fold it up, walkers, all those kinds of things. You just about can't get anything other than a fly in there in between the goods that are being sent. We make absolute maximum use of the space. Now we make sure that all of the goods, to the extent we can, have some identification that it's from America, and that's from North Carolina, because they need to know who their friends are.
Yeah.
They need to know who their friends are. And the people that donate through us want that known.
These budget cuts have impacted this partnership in Moldova more directly. Have you seen like a direct impact in your office by the culture, by the way that you're able to provide help to Moldova?
No, there's no direct impact because we get no money from them. But where it has impacted is that I've seen many excellent projects that USAID has done in Moldova. And all of them, not all of them, most of them that I've seen have been capacity building, things that will sustain Moldovan families or Moldovan, in this case, agriculture, so that the people can have a living and the country can become more productive. So it's not like a giveaway of food. It's don't give a guy a fish, teach him how to fish. So they provided them the wherewithal to learn and the wherewithal to maybe change some processes. The real example is in the wine industry. Moldova's had a strong wine industry, but they knew nothing about quality control in the 90s. They sold most of their wine to Russia, and I saw bottles that had glue coming out under the label. The labels weren't, they were uneven. I've even seen chip bottles over there. Well, that's really not good marketing. It's not marketing at all. It's contrary to marketing. So they had to learn quality control, and USAID did training sessions. They were very good at wine culture, but there were things that could be added to it a better understanding of the soil, a better understanding of the nutrients that are needed to produce a better quality wine, or any type of fruit or vegetable.
Yeah.
They have helped to do those things. They have built institutions. Media Corps is an opportunity for folks to get training in high-tech gaming and computer activities. So USAID helped build those things, and they're there. As long as they have the teachers and as long as they have the students coming through, that will change the life of those students coming through. They have Zip House. Zip House was built by USAID, so it's a place where innovators in the fashion and furniture industry and textile industry can innovate.
Yeah.
They've got some faculty that come through periodically, but it's mostly a place for the entrepreneurs to be together and be collectively inspiring each other or giving tips or helping out, that kind of thing. So those things that USAID has done has built infrastructure that folks can build upon. That's still there.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually funny you mention it because on the day that we were with the university, they gave us a tour of Zip House and of Media Corps, and we were talking. It's like some of the technology there was, I mean, even
I joke that it was like some of the, so I do a lot of like graphic communications, video, film, and like I was like some of the tech here is like farther along than anything I've seen in the US. It was amazing to see.
I understand it's like studios in California and other.
yeah, they had like a massive big screen.
Right. Whole wall, green screen.
Green screen.
Yes,
It was
yes,
insane.
yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see because I feel like having that infrastructure, I mean, all the students in there are able to get, still
High level exposure. Yeah.
But innovation doesn't happen overnight. Moldova faces real challenges. Brain drain as young talent leaves for opportunities abroad, limited access to capital, and the constant reality of being caught between larger geopolitical forces.
What are some unique challenges that you notice Moldovan entrepreneurs face compared to other regions?
I think they're very shy.
Shy?
Yes, they're very shy and many do not know how to receive advice. Shy is also because of the structure of our education and the legacy we had, and also how our parents were taught to behave. Because my mom was like, how can you not be hired in an institution and just have your own thing? Are you not stressed out? Yes, I am stressed out, but I'm also free.
Yeah.
I do whatever I want, the projects I want. And yes, it does come with stress, but that's how I discover my worth. The challenge is how to overcome that cultural bias against entrepreneurs that was developed for more than 70 years within the Soviet Union, and the lack of collaboration or little collaboration. But I believe in the youth. I believe in changing because I've seen young people and kids changing parents by asking questions. So ask questions to overcome your fear. And it's okay to be fearful. It shows that you are a smart person because you can forecast some dangers that can be on your way, but do not give away the power to the danger. Take the power to yourself. And when you work with your fears, when you do that, and overcome your shyness. There is a Spanish saying, being shy is a pity, is a sin, because you lose so many opportunities. So I believe that even if you're shy, you have courage to overcome or work with yourself. Learn to collaborate. I think that is one thing that does not come right away.
The North Carolina Moldova story offers lessons for international cooperation everywhere, that meaningful partnerships transcend politics, that small places can have global impact, and that human connections build the strongest foundation for any collaboration. How has international collaborations with groups such as NC States and the US Embassy impacted GEN Moldova's efforts?
I think it was development on that. Because GEN Moldova came as an idea that I pitched in front of what it used to be Global Entrepreneurship Week platform at the Congress, and I thought, why not developing a network that stays consistently in communication? So, and I said, I'm going to develop a network around it because that's exactly who we are. So GEN Moldova is a compound that captures what I was doing what my background was and what my previous experience was, and then I gathered people around it. And I found opportunities. And I saw the opportunities because I was prepared. Because I wanted that so much, international environment. So at 16, I traveled to Oklahoma as a high school student. I learned to be independent. I learned to be in the big world by myself and to find myself in that big world, who I am, what I want to do.
Kind of going off of that, what role do global partnerships play in shaping the future of Moldovan entrepreneurship?
Moldova is a small economy, so it basically cannot survive without global connections. So I think we're so interconnected now that it's really hard to break down. We can communicate, we can speak up. If we have obstacles in that, then basically that can be reversed. But I think Moldova, being so small, should actually find ways of getting so many opportunities for the people in Moldova and connecting and having the bilateral relationships that build Moldova. And we are talking now diplomacy. A lot of diplomacy comes through the people because you can build relationships in business, and business is something very personal. It's like your child because it's like, you want it to flourish, you want it to work, and you invest a lot of time and you invest a lot of ego and ambition.
Then came 2022. As hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees crossed into Moldova, local entrepreneurs didn't continue their work, they transformed it. Crisis became a catalyst for innovation and compassion.
In what ways have recent crises, like the war in Ukraine, sparked new forms of innovation for business?
Oh, I'm going to go for shop where you have that example. They've done flexible production. What does it mean? When the war started, I was actually using them as a business case to teach how crises change companies. It allowed them to produce things that were really necessary in the pandemic times. Then they created events, festivals to kind of help people and support them when they came from a very dangerous but also a very fragile environment. And they were shocked and fearful. So through events and entertainment, they've succeeded in connecting people here through the children, in connecting them to their well-being. So I think that is also very important. So I think all of these crises help us reconnect to what we can do with the little we have.
Today's Moldovan entrepreneurs are building for the world, with Moldova as their launchpad. The partnership that began with an agricultural exchange has evolved into a display of creative excellence and global ambition.
So many people that are doing great things in Moldova. When I talk about those people that actually work with the community of entrepreneurs rather than building maybe their own enterprises, that make this world more collaborative, because I think that's when we discuss, that's when we understand each other. But when dialogue is not there, then basically you can't really create anything without it.
But perhaps the most evident essence of Moldova's character was its response to an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. In 2022, when war came to their neighbor, Moldovans opened their borders and their hearts. The numbers tell one story. Over 1 million refugees crossing through Moldova, but the human stories tell another, of resilience, generosity, and what happens when a nation decides that helping others isn't just policy, it's identity. Next time, we'll hear those human stories directly. How war redefined hospitality, how temporary became family, and how Moldova's response to crisis revealed the true measure of a nation's heart.
Bye-bye.
Bye.